And that should be fine. I think, or yeah.
Thank you. And then he's going to put it on the altar. And then where are you going to go? Yay!
Ciao, ciao.
Hey, are you Carrie? Yay! Andrew. Yes. Oh, so nice to meet you. I think I met your mom. Yes, yes. Yay. Thank you. I'm definitely using some of the quotes that you. You are? You are? Okay. Well, you'll find out. I hope so. At the end, no matter what happens, even if the sky crashes down, I'm still going to worry about it.
That's true. Worst case scenario is everything.
The star
Everyone is dead.
It could be like, oh, an asteroid.
Yeah.
everyone. Nice to see you today. We will be starting momentarily, so if you need to take your seat and you're not off stage and coming on, please do so. Thank you. Okay, I think we are going to get started. Thank you everyone so much for coming today. On behalf of Tim and Ivy, they are so thrilled to have you here outside on this beautiful Kentucky day at their home. It's 90 degrees and we may have a plague of locusts elsewhere, but here we're doing great. So, my name is Andrew Cook. I am been a friend of Tim's for a little over 10 years. I just met Ivy a little bit more recently, so that's been a real pleasure to get to know her a little better, kind of preparing for the ceremony. I spent about 6 years at a Tibetan Buddhist monastery, so if you hear me chant in a foreign language, it's probably Tibetan. These days I work as a hospice social worker, and I was super thrilled and honored when Tim and Ivy asked me to officiate their wedding. So, a few quick announcements. If everyone could please turn off your phones or mute them for the ceremony and refrain from taking pictures. They have a photographer. So the idea is just to have everyone relax and enjoy the ceremony and be present. Also, the ceremony is being live streamed, so if everyone wants to turn around and say hi to everyone connected. Hello. So wonderful you could be here as well. And after the ceremony, there will be a reception up the hill. If some people could help just grab chairs and walk them up the hill afterwards, that would be great. And finally, you will notice that there is a cup of rose petals under all of your chairs. At the very end of the ceremony, after Ivy and Tim kiss, when they're walking down the aisle, we will all...
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Okay. When the time comes, we will throw them. Let's put it that way, okay? All right. And now we will begin. Yes, there is. And now Ivy's mother Marcia and Tim's mother Katie will light the candles. Rings with Emma and Henry. And now the Flower Girls. Come. Thank you, Liddy.
Take your time, Nava. And now, will everyone please stand for the bride?
Yellow is the color of my true love's hair. In the morning when we rise, in the morning when we rise, that's the time that we love the best. Mellow is the feeling that I get when I see her. Oh yeah, when I see her. Oh yeah, that's the time that we love the best.
Everyone can sit.
Thank you.
Well, as you know, we are gathered here today to witness the marriage vows of Tim and Ivy and celebrate their union with our love and our admiration and our joy. What a special day. So overjoyed to be here with everyone, with their friends and their family here in their beautiful house that they are making into a home. Kind of reminds me of Middle Earth with the altar and the gardens. It's a very precious moment, and I think you all remember this for a long time. I invite you both to take a moment, look around, say hello to your family and the virtual guests who are here.
Hi. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Now that we're all here together with Ivy and Tim in front of us, if we could just take a moment of reflection and in whatever way works for us, but maybe silently, we can say a prayer, send good wishes to them, good vibes, aspirations, good energy, that all of their aspirations will be fulfilled. They'll have long life, prosperity, and enjoy many, many years of health and happiness together. So if we can do that just for a few moments. Thank you. And now, Ivy's dad, Charlie, will share a reading with us.
I'll read a selection from St. Paul of Tarsus, probably the most sublime thing that's ever been written about love. If he had not written anything else, he'd still be a towering genius. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith, so as to remove mountains but have not love, I'm nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver my body to be burned but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in the wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. But our knowledge is imperfect, and our prophecy is imperfect. But when the perfect comes, the imperfect shall pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man or an adult, I gave up my childish ways. For now, we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall understand fully, even as I have been fully understood. So faith, hope, love abide, these three. But the greatest of these is love.
And now Tim's dad, Tom, will present a reading.
Scoot back a little bit, yes, sir. Some thoughts on marriage from Robert Fulghum. We are all a little weird. And life's a little weird. And when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall into mutual weirdness and call it love. The symbolic vows that you're about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know, all those things we promised and hoped and dreamed, well, I meant it all. Every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, and even teacher. For you have learned much from one another in these last few years. Now you shall say a few words that take you across a threshold of life, and things will never quite be the same. For after these vows, you shall say to the world, this is my husband. This is my wife.
And now I will share a few words about Ivy and Tim here.
Bring it into the mic a little bit.
Can you all hear okay? Okay. A couple months ago, I was listening to a podcast about relationships by a therapist and life coach whose work I really trust. At one point, she said, I tell my clients all the time, love is not a feeling. What? Love is not a feeling? I was a little surprised when she said this, and I didn't quite understand. But I will say that standing here today in front of you two, all I have to do is look at you to get it. This is love. This is love. Working together on your garden is love. Buying a house together and making it into a home is love. Building a fence and planning this wedding is love. Everything I see right now is a relic and a manifestation of your love. Love is being quiet when your soon-to-be wife is teaching class online from home. Love is waking up early to make coffee for your spouse because you know they need it, even when you prefer to stay in bed. Love is being pissed off, but apologizing first because you prioritize the other's feelings. And love is choosing your partner day after day, sometimes hour after hour. Bless you. Worst case scenario, minute after minute. But now I get it. Love is not a feeling. So I had the opportunity to speak to you all and a couple of your closest friends in preparation for this wedding. Oh, bless you.
Sorry.
It's the bouquet, maybe, or the
Maybe it is.
Kentucky pollen. Ivy, your friend Carrie, offered a beautiful metaphor of your relationship during our talk. She said, Ivy is like the gas pedal and Tim is like the brakes. Of course, everyone loves the gas pedal. It gets you to a remote campsite or wilderness area. It will take you to Cumberland Island in Georgia, where you had your first trip together. But no one can deny that the brakes are best friends to the gas pedal. and they don't make sense without each other. One could say that gas pedal and brakes are made for each other, and if one goes a little wonky, the other one gets in trouble. So I hope that you continue. I hope you continue to be each other's gas pedal and brakes long into your future. So everyone talked about your complementary sense of humor and your quickness to laugh. Case in point here with Ivy right now. Sean told me, said Tim possesses a certain bit of magic. And he talked about how Tim notices the obtuse and bizarre, finding humor in small spaces and in the mundane. I love that. So anyone who spends just a few minutes around you all can see plain as day the laughter and the lightness. One of the great medicines in life, you could call it a vaccine against the inevitable hardships we all encounter. And I think you all told me your first date was to a comedy show. Incidentally, apparently Ivy didn't realize it was a date at the time. But Tim was quite sure that it was. Soon after that, you started going to places like Kentucky Kingdom. And to quote Carrie again, Ivy is always on the edge of braying laughter. So today, I join everybody here in wishing all of you countless bouts of braying laughter over the course of your marriage. And I hope you keep laughing at each other, with each other, through all life's many challenges and stresses. Speaking of challenges, last year brought unprecedented fears and challenges to many of our lives during this global pandemic and lockdown. Many of us didn't see each other for months at a time, and we stayed at home in quarantine. Ivy even had to transition to an online format, adapting on the fly. But in the midst of quarantine, essentially trapped at home with one another, you apparently realized you lived so well together that you got engaged, decided to buy a house and bought a house, you planned a wedding, and here we are today. That's a big year. Let's all give them a round of applause for that big year.
Oh, can I? No, thank you.
So any one of those challenges would test the most stable of relationships. But here you all are, joyful, smiling, stable, dedicated to the life that you're creating with one another. So I encourage you to remember your resilience, your strength, and the stability that got you through this last year when you encounter obstacles in the future, because your relationship is not untried and it is not untested. Gathered here today, let us also recognize that this moment is impermanent and fleeting. William James wrote that the skull is always grinning in at the banquet. And here we are at the banquet. Every life and every relationship has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Of these, we can easily recognize the beginning and the end as they happen. But we never know when we're in the middle. As a hospice social worker, I see dying patients every day, and some of them have been married for 40, 50, 60, or even 70 years. And when I ask them, what is your secret? They invariably tell me something like, we've had our moments, believe me, but we always stayed committed to each other and to our lives together. They often talk about the little things, like how their spouse called their name from the shower, or how they used to read the paper together every morning, or how one always cooked and the other one always cleaned the dishes. In short, they talk about their love as showing up for each other, even when they didn't want to. Come to think of it, they seldom mention the word love at all. They don't need to, because their whole life together was the practice and the skill of learning to love each other well. So here we are, somewhere in the middle. This very moment, this wedding, these minutes, these hours, days, and years make up what we call life. So let us courageously acknowledge the impermanence of life as one of the very things that makes it so precious. Life is short, so go big or go home. Today you are home, so it doesn't quite apply, but you are going big. And none of us makes it through this precious life alone. We have no choice to depend on each other. As the great Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh said, there is no being, only interbeing. And what a beautiful notion. I am because you are. We actually rely on each other for almost everything, and the natural environment itself is the container for our bodies. We depend on the sun for energy and gravity, oxygen to breathe, and the earth to give us food. And our bodies themselves are made from the elements and will return to the elements when we die. Looking at all of you gathered here and remotely, I'm reminded that Ivy and Tim are here right now because of you. They were shaped by you, and they shaped you. You shaped and molded each other with your love, bringing everything to the table. And let's go on ahead and admit it, we're a beautiful, complicated, mixed bag. Full-bodied love is accepting that mixed bag and rejoicing in it. And I thank everyone here for accepting Tim and Ivy just as they are at this stage in their lives, showing up with your full hearts as they show up with theirs. The older I get, the more I see that perhaps the greatest gift you can give the world is just to learn how to be who you are and share your you-ness wholeheartedly with courage and confidence and generosity. Ivy and Tim, it is obvious that you have found this rare and hidden gem in each other. And this was echoed to me by your friends and every single person I have talked with about you. You don't have to pretend to be anyone other than who you are with each other. No more anxious yearning to be accepted. No more fear of being rejected. You can relax and become even more yourself with each other as you learn and grow together and push each other that none of you could do alone. Over the course of your marriage, you will sand each other's sharp edges and reveal your true and sometimes hidden magic. And you will probably inadvertently create more sharp edges along the way, but that's okay too. As I wrap up, I want to share one more quote by Ivy's friend Carrie, who I probably owe royalties to by this point. She said, "Ivy is like a beautiful butterfly, and Tim is the cool basin of water that she drinks from." Does that sound true to you all?
That's what she said, literally.
To me, this poetic observation illustrates how you allow each other to be radiant or to be calm and stable and feed each other with your full-hearted presence. In other words, you depend upon each other. And let us extend this idea of interdependence to all of us here today and everyone connected with you all. I ask that you all continue to show up in Tim and Ivy's life as they continue to show up in yours. From this moment on, my own parents have been married for 49 years, and in the course of preparing for this wedding, I asked my mother if she had one single piece of advice to give for someone considering marriage. She thought for a long moment and replied, "Choose your partner wisely." And I know I'm not alone when I say with full confidence that you all have chosen wisely, and it makes my heart glad. Thank you so much for letting me share these thoughts. And now we will proceed with the exchange of vows. Oh. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ivy and Tim, Today, you freely and joyfully choose to entwine your fates together. And this wedding and this marriage reflect your sincere commitment to one another as best friends, as lovers, and lifelong companions. The heart of your marriage is the vows that you make to each other and how you show up in each other's lives. These are vows that you may already have been living, but have never spoken out loud. But today, June 12th, 2021, you will speak them in front of your friends and family, near and far. We are with you in body, speech, mind, and soul and spirit, and whatever way we can be. So with that said, please repeat after me. I vow to share my life with you.
I vow to share my life with you.
You can both repeat these.
Okay.
together.
I vow. Not me. I vow to share my life with you.
Thank you.
I vow to walk by your side.
I vow to walk by your side.
I vow to walk by your side.
I vow to encourage you.
I vow to encourage you.
I vow to encourage you.
I vow to help you grow.
I vow to help you grow.
I vow to help you grow.
I vow to laugh with you.
I vow to laugh with you.
I vow to laugh with you.
I vow to forgive you.
I vow to forgive you.
I vow to forgive you.
I vow to be loyal to you.
I vow to be loyal to you.
I vow to be loyal to you.
I vow to listen to you.
I vow to listen to you.
I vow to listen to you.
I vow to be honest with my words.
I vow to be honest with my words.
I vow to be honest with my words.
I vow to be your dearest friend.
I vow to be your dearest friend.
I vow to be your dearest friend.
Now, their vows and their marriage is strengthened by you all, their community. So to everyone gathered here in person or virtually who are part of their community, please look upon them as I ask you these 3 questions. Your response to each of these questions will be, we do. Do you promise to support this marriage in times of joy and times of challenge? We do. Do you affirm your care for Ivy and Tim as a new family? We do. Do you promise to love this family during both life's ordinary and extraordinary moments? We do. Thank you. Now you will light the unity candle. So the ceremony began with the lighting of the candles by their mothers, and now you will light your candle together. Just take this.
You just waxed her.
Now for the exchange of the rings, which represent the outer manifestation of your love and commitment to each other. There we So when you're ready, Tim, please repeat after me. I, Tim, take you, Ivy,
I,
to be
Tim,
my wife,
I, Tim, take you, Ivy, to be my wife,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
to honor and support you
to honor and support you
in times as darkness as well as light,
in times of darkness as well as light,
for as long as I may live.
for as long as I may live.
As a symbol of this promise, I give you this ring.
As a symbol of this promise, I give you this ring.
Now, Ivy, please repeat after me. I, Ivy,
I, Ivy,
take you, Tim, to be my husband,
take you, Tim, to be my husband,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
to honor and support you
to honor and support you
in times of darkness as well as light,
in times of darkness as well as light,
for as long as I may live.
for as long as I may live.
As a symbol of my promise, I give you this ring.
As a symbol of my promise, I give you this ring.
And now for the hand fasting portion of the ceremony. So during this part of the ceremony, Tim and Ivy will join hands in the symbol of infinity, and I will wrap their hands in this Tibetan scarf that has 8 different auspicious symbols representing prosperity, stability, removing obstacles, love, joy, compassion, all the good things. Okay? And during this time, I will chant a few things in long life prayers and prosperity prayers in Tibetan and Sanskrit. And if everyone could just kind of connect with that meaning in their heart and shoot that out to Tim and Ivy, if you would. Kodukana Mambago, Jedidon, Zenolo, Guru Kumasi, De Home, Wajin, Magasabala, Yantajukum, Kodukana Mambago, Senalo did of Guru Kumasi, De Home, Mohammed Guru Kumasi, De Home, Mohammed Guru Kumasi, De Home, Mohammed Guru Home Guru Eyes the Hungry Amarani, Guru Eyes the Hungry Amarani, Home Guru Eyes the Hungry Amarani, Guru Eyes the Hungry Amarani, Home Guru Eyes the Hungry Amarani, Guru Eyes the Arani, Home Berazara Samaya, Manabalaya, Berazabana, Sudan, Pujam, Anarchan, Southern Moments, Organized, Guru Home, Saravata Gadapadi, Mamas, Mazatwa, Barazatan, Manabalaya, Barazabana, so was the name of them, so what comes to me is to go home. Sarawata Gadabadi, Sarawakamas is in home, Sawata Gadabadi, Penakila, somebody did the Peng, Akasamara Shata Samania, Akasamara Shata, Akasamara Shadara Samaraya, Senjan, Donji, the Wada, the way you know, we are down, we should know, we are never the Wada, the challenge in the Tamo, Semaba, and Bajori, Senjan, Donji, the Wada, the way you know, we are down, we should know, do you make the Wada, Madame, you challenge in the Tamo, Semapala, Neborjorji. on the Odom Josabai, Tanabatan, Tigamati Banatubai, Sibesola Doasho, Tunde, when the Jopotamo Unanaba and the Mesopotamia, Sulakanabata, Katonjin, Tabagan, in the Geneva, Malaba, Tatujan, Tashi Delejo, Sanjin, Tanja Deda Kunchimon, Zama Jida, and also today, Chulasanaba, Tatu Tashi Dele Consul, Ranjo, Sanjoro, Nachipani, Japana, Gonen Gondu, Kenmo, Joso, and Sanisa Sanjoro, Kujo Sonata, Mindra Sola, Anna Aliso, Nana Jukana, Good day, Sasanto Bachimana Japan, Yamato Jitile, Rochi, May your hands be forever clasped in friendship. May the spirit of love find a dwelling place in your hearts and in your home. May this marriage be a truly blessed and happy one. Now you can take your hand off this guy. So now, by the power vested in me, by the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Say it loud into the camera.
Now, by the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and more importantly, with the love and support of all of you gathered here and remotely, I pronounce you married. You may kiss.